Where I come from, it's called The Reason You Avoid Your Mother-in-Law.
I'm staying out of this one. Oh,
That's the first smart thing you said all night.
did yeah, fucking choke, Retro. Oh God, please don't actually choke.
Don't die.
Don't die. Can you wait until after the show?
Okay, he'll be right back.
Oh God, we killed him. Wow.
You killed him.
Wow. Look what you did.
I didn't do it.
Look what you did.
I didn't do it.
Welcome to Tactical Advisors, everybody. This is episode 5, the recap of the grand finals as they were. I am your host, Frank Paz, joined by my two lovely co-hosts. I don't know which one this is or which one this is, but they're both really awesome. Retro and The, Statmaster The, Random Statmaster Retro. I just came up with that just now. I'm pretty proud of myself. So,
I do have some random stats.
that's also very true. So we are wrapping up for season 1. We had the grand finals. Was pretty epic. Granted, it didn't go the full distance that we were all hoping for, but it was still exciting.
Nuts.
It was nuts is a good word. That's accurate. That's good. So we had. You didn't what?
I didn't like how day 2 ended.
No, it's
Not
just
the team that won. Just the amount of maps. I wish there would have been more fight.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
there was like a little spark.
There was, but not enough.
No.
I wanted to see 2, maybe 3 sets of all game 5s.
I just
Simple.
want to see them go game 5 and just go the whole 3. I'm greedy.
Same. Same.
I don't care if you need rest. Just keep playing.
I don't care if you beat him 5-0. I want to see all 5.
You better do it 11-0 because I want to see more. Yeah, we're addicts. Such addicts. So we did have game 1 that took place on Friday, July 27th in New York. I have to say that the intros were pretty epic. That was pretty cool.
Isn't that awesome?
That was
yeah.
pretty cool. It felt like the Super Bowl or the NBA Finals where them getting the music and everything. And I have to say, it was funny because it seemed like a lot of the players didn't really know what to do when they got out to the stage.
No.
So they're all just or something. So, I don't know. But a lot of them just didn't know what to do. And they were just it was so cute.
I love when they're lining up and each one of them takes a turn pointing at the other one. That's your ex over there.
Yeah.
And then the next one comes up and they're like, that's your ex over there. Every time!
Yep. My favorite thing about that, though, was Golden Boy's introduction of all the... this, in my opinion, is where he as an announcer shone.
He's a good announcer.
He is, but
I don't like him as a commentator.
comparison to Chris Puckett, no. But when it comes to doing this stuff, he's amazing at it. That was some, like 1990s WWE stuff going on there
Ah,
with the
nostalgia.
introduction of the teams. It was just like I could hear him about to say, "Let's get ready to rumble."
Oh, that would have
It's
been
just like,
epic.
yeah.
Let's get
Golden
this
Boy,
payload
do it.
moving!
Oh,
Golden
yeah.
Boy, are you watching the show? Hello, we just did more work for you. We are doing everybody's work.
No.
Except for our own.
Except for our own. Yeah. Don't do any of that.
Of course
Just
not.
work.
But yeah, the intros were really, really cool. Like, it got you pumped up. It was like, oh my god, yes. So, that was really, really cool. So,
I also did like the music choice they had for both the teams. Like the Spitfires was a more techno-esque, which fits with,
yeah.
Korea. That's
Yeah.
the type of music they like over there. And then Phillies fit. It was awesome. I loved it.
I wonder how
Yeah.
they picked. Like, who
Well,
was
I'm
in charge of
sure,
that?
like, some kind of PR person was in charge of it.
Probably. They probably didn't even know the
Also,
song
how
that was
many
playing.
zeros were at the end of the check also. That probably helped a little bit too. Just saying.
Probably. So, I'm going to pass the breakdown over to Statmaster over here because
Okay.
my voice sucks. So,
I'm in charge now. Yay.
yeah,
Alright,
my voice is going.
So, I kept a watch on the counter, first of all, on Twitch, because I did a watch on Twitch. I believe we all watched on Twitch. And the peak viewer for the first day was 264,000 people. And that was just on Twitch. You have to remember that we still had people watching on Disney and NBC. I think on ESPN too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
We can't forget that. That was the biggest one in my eyes, that they were actually showing this.
I was more impressed with Disney, honestly. But I mean,
They have a contract with Disney.
yeah.
So,
That did impress me, but just the fact that ESPN was willing to show esports with the whole negative stuff towards it, that really impressed me.
True. So, so the lineup for Philly on Friday was Carpe, EQO, Sato, Hotba, Boombox, and Neptuno. Neptuno is one of their healers. Carpe usually plays sniper. EQO is a damage dealer. Trying to remember, other than Pharah, what his main is.
Hanzo.
Hanzo,
thank you. Sato is a tank, Hotba is a tank, and Boombox is one of the supports, but he also can flex to DPS every now and then.
same with the tank. He can go diva.
Oh, he can?
Yeah,
Did
he can go
play
diva.
Roadhog mostly for this?
Yeah, you're right. He did play Roadhog a couple times. So,
But he did also play diva a little bit because he got a couple ults on one of the days. A couple self-destructs.
All right. London's lineup was Nuss, Bedosian, Birdring, Jester, Prophet, and Fury. Nuss is your primary support. He pretty much exclusively plays Mercy.
He
I think
switched to
maybe
Lucio
once.
once or twice.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
like once was Lucio and I think once was Moira, but otherwise it was primarily Mercy. Which is kind of the same for Neptuno as well. It seems like Mercy is like a set in stone type of thing.
And I kind of
Yeah.
like that. No matter how many times they nerf her, she's still the go-to healer because she is.
That res is amazing.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
it's still the best thing in the game. I think, honestly.
And that ult that she has, how you can either choose to be, let's support the team or let's
Attack
pull out the
Mercy.
pistol.
God, I hate
Like,
Attack
that-
Mercy during her ult.
That's Neptuno, though,
It
to a
is.
T.
It really
He-
is.
The only thing that
He
pisses
makes
me
me
off
want to
about
play
it
Mercy.
is that during her ult, she has unlimited bullets. That makes me mad. You don't have to reload during that. So she just sit there and just constantly shoot you until you're dead. I don't like that. Blizzard.
I mean, I'm fine with it, but it's fine.
Same. I love the plays you can watch the
Side
pros
salty
do.
player that has died from Battle Mercy too many times.
Yeah, pretty much.
Signed. Don't change it. Signed. Person who has used that to outsnipe a Widowmaker with a
Anyway, Birdring is also primarily your sniper, so DPS. His main is most definitely Widow, but he did switch to Tracer, and I think he did play Hanzo at least a couple times.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I believe he played a Brigitte too.
Probably. Like at tail ends of
Those-
pushes and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Top
Prophet
level
is
Prophet.
his. Yeah, Prophet is his counterpart, who also tends to snipe with him. I believe Prophet also played Tracer a couple times. I don't think he ever touched a Widow though. I think he only did a Hanzo sniper.
I believe you're right.
I think McCree was his like secondary option.
Yeah.
Gesture and Fury are your tanks. A lot of people say that Gesture is the main tank, but I mean, I kind of see Fury getting in there quicker than Gesture. That's just my opinion.
I think Fury is a more successful take. Gesture's kind of like just like a meat sack to shoot at, and Fury is like the one getting the glory with the kills.
And then Bedosian is also, but as we go through notes, they weren't running two supports very often. Like it did happen, but not often. So Bedosian was becoming a third DPS and sometimes even a tank because think he did the Roadhog as well. So, that's what Boombox was doing.
Yeah, they
Yep.
were using a lot of Roadhog, so it was successful.
They were using a lot of mirror teams. Like I was kind of shocked about that it was same players or characters over and over.
Yep.
So, Matt, go ahead.
I think there was a stat where in this postseason that a Roadhog Orisa combo was the most common that they were trying to do, which I noticed was really like successful because Orisa would have that pull, and then Roadhog would have the hook, and it was just like instant death. But
Yeah.
that was the most common composition for this season, along with Widow and Hanzo. This is the two sniper setup too.
The tanks had to be doing some major communicating because there's no way it was luck that many times with Orisa doing that. I forget what that move is called, where she does that like gravity surge.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Thank you. And like every time she would pop that, somebody, most likely the Roadhog, was always aiming at that exact spot to kill whoever she pulled in, and it happened too many times to not be luck.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's more communication than I can even fathom to pull that off.
Yeah.
and another stat that I noticed they were talking about just before the map one. Carpe has an average of 11 kills per 10 minutes, just over the playoffs. So he's averaging a kill
That's
a
a
minute
lot.
on that Widow. On that Widow. Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, he didn't really keep that stat through the grand finals, I don't think.
No, I don't think he did, but I mean, he still did some work though.
He did work,
Yeah.
but the rest of the team didn't carry him like they needed to.
The rest of the team wasn't there. You can have a hard carry as much as you want, but if the rest of the team is like, okay, we're gonna put on concrete shoes, tie anchors to ourselves, and also just lay here like dead bodies, and you have to carry all of us. There's
Yeah.
only so much to do.
Yep. So he tried.
I agree. So map 1 is your escort, and we were at Dorado. Philly attacks first. London plays defense first because of their regular season standings. Philly rolled out with 2 supports, 2 snipers, 2 tanks to start off, and London started with a single support, which was their Mercy. I don't remember how long it took for them to switch off of. Oh, when Philly got to the second point, they switched off of the single support.
Yep.
So I'm actually surprised they let it go that long. I thought maybe at the end of the first point they would have switched to a single support or double support. But
You would think, because that second point isn't as easy to get on that particular map as some other second points like Junkertown and stuff are. So I would have thought they would have switched sooner too.
But they had London had that Widow Hanzo combo that let them hold that point two for like 2 minutes, something like that. I think there's only 2 minutes left in the time bank when Philly actually capped point two, so they were doing good. It's just they needed that little bit extra. And
Yeah.
honestly, if they did swap to that other medic a little sooner, I think they might have held it at point two.
Yeah, they had 2:35 on the clock at the end of point two. So, Carpe did, like you were saying, Fry. Carpe did get shut down the first point, but he didn't stay down very long. I remember when he like had this woke up moment because I made a note of it. I said, Carpe responds to being shut down to flank completely behind to headshot both Bird Ring and one of their tanks. I couldn't remember who the tank was, and he just turned down like that.
Sato.
It was Sato.
It was the Winston. I know the play you're talking about.
Yeah, and after that, he was pretty much on fire.
Well, Carpe can't kill Sato because they're on the same team. So.
No, you're right about that. It was whoever was playing the Winston.
It was Gesture.
Thank you. I just
There we
always,
go. Okay.
Yeah, I just always, as soon as I see Winston, I see Sato's name above it because that's all I ever see him play.
Yeah.
I think he actually played Ryan a couple times,
He did
honestly.
play Ryan a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of, quick side note, Thea on Twitter for the Gladiators, if you go to their Twitter and you post a screenshot of having 100 or more hours played on Reinhardt, they will send you 100 coins to buy a Gladiators Reinhardt skin.
What?
Yep. I saw it today while I was on the potty. I don't have
Alright.
enough
Everyone
hours.
does. That's where everyone does their most Twitter scrolling is on the potty.
Somebody, the highest I saw was 684 hours on Reinhardt.
Holy cow. Okay, so the question is, do you have 100 hours on Ryan?
He is my highest hero, but I only have 39. So,
Sad face.
I know.
I think I might have 60 hours on him.
Oh, I'm nowhere near close, because we know I've only been playing for like 7.
Diva.
So, yeah,
If
Diva's
anything,
my top.
Diva. So yeah, if you have 100 hours played on Reinhardt, send a screenshot to the Gladiators. They'll send you 100 coins for a skin.
I think that's a good deal.
Give me
Yes.
a couple hours, I might be able to get him up. How long is this going on for?
I have no idea. They didn't say. You'll have to ask them.
Twitter them.
Yeah, tweet.
Slide into the DMs.
There you go.
I forgot where I was going now. I'm sorry.
We were
The
talking
amazing
about the
play by
tank.
Carpe,
Yes.
Yeah,
where he
so
took out.
the only other time that Carpe really got shut down that I seen was when they were on the second point at the starting alleyway. I think they killed him first for the first 2 pushes, and their push just kind of died after that. They just backed off. But the rest of the map, he was carrying, honestly.
I feel kind of bad because I feel like Carpe, when you have players like that, like he puts too much on himself, and then players like that start to like blame themselves that you guys lost. So I really hope that he didn't feel like he was the reason that they didn't win.
That's what
Same
happened with
with-
Pine.
Yeah, same with Pine and
Yeah.
Jonak. I hope the both of them didn't feel that way when they got KO'd by Philly.
Anyway,
Don't beat yourself up.
yeah.
Moral of the story.
Takes a
Everyone has
team
back
effort to lose.
Yes.
Exactly. Just like it takes a team effort to win.
Yes.
So, Philly did end up completing the map. They did it in overtime. I was actually shocked that they beat it in overtime because it looked like they were gonna fail with about 20 meters to go, but I don't know. I don't remember exactly what happened. But they just like woke up all of a sudden and all 6 of them were on the point and they killed the whole team and took it to the end of the map without any issue at all.
I think it was on the back of like an alt to clear
I
London off.
think
If I
it
remember
might have
correctly.
been a Fury alt. No, not a
A
Fury alt.
self-destruct.
Yeah, I think it might have been. I think it might have been a self-destruct, but I'm not sure.
It's possible. I don't think it was EQO because my note for EQO is that he actually got 2 ults during the second point. And he got the third right as they capped the second point as well. So lots of dragons.
Yeah.
Lots of dragons.
Actually, no, I think it might have been the Dragon Strike.
It's kind of ridiculous how quickly they get ults.
Yeah. Well, they're a lot better than us.
Well,
Yeah.
yes. But if you have 2 really good Hanzos, it's literally like every 30 seconds, dragon, and that's the whole match.
Yep. So we switched sides, and London went on the attack, and Philly went on defense. And again, surprisingly enough, defense went 1 support, 3 tanks, 2 snipers. I don't know why all of a sudden they're running 1 support when 2 support has been like the constant. That's the thing that never fluxed up to this point. But London went with the standard 2-2-2, 2 supports, 2 tanks, 2 snipers. I'm trying to see if I made a note when they switched off of their 1
I don't know.
support.
London started off with 1 support on their defense. Maybe thought Philly could do it too.
Maybe they're like, okay, you can do it, I can do it better.
Yeah, maybe.
Sad news for them is that
Didn't work.
They were wrong.
Yeah. So no, actually it did work. Philly did win that map. I'm sorry. They held. Well, that's skipping ahead. So Philly was able to stall quite often. Carpe was what's the word for it? Where they're taking out players late.
Staggering.
Thank you. Spawn staggering them. He was actually getting Winston quite a bit at the tail end of pushes, which I found kind of interesting because most of the time it's D.Va, because D.Va will demech and then they'll play with Baby D.Va for a bit. And then Philly was, I mean, if Philly didn't look like they were holding them until they got to the point. It looked like they were just going to get bowled over. So that's basically all my notes are, how much faster London was at taking the point. They took the first point with 5 minutes and 15 seconds to go.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah, that's a lot of time.
However, the main reason they capped that is Philly was starting to defend a little bit, but Profit got a massive Dragon Strike onto EQO, and from that, they just snowballed that cap. Because they were holding them at that first choke initially, but then they got that, and that just snowballed it. Because they cut them off, sent it, if I remember correctly, on the angle through right near the point, how there's those houses.
Mm-hmm.
Sent the Dragon Strike right through there, and then they just snowballed from there to cap, and then pushed on and kept on capping through point 2.
Yeah, that's actually what my notes said. They got aggressive and took the higher ground, and it says Prophet did it. So I'm assuming that was with his ult. So higher ground was very important to them in there, and it paid off for them, honestly, because they had over almost 5 minutes. They had 4 minutes and 50 seconds by the time they capped the second point.
God, that's a lot of time.
It was a lot of time. So it really looked like Philly was going to choke and fall apart, but they brought it back. And I think this is partly because of the switches that London did, because I made a note of it. Prophet got off of the Hanzo to go to Brigitte, and Big Bird Ring got off his Widow to go to Hanzo. Not that Brigitte's bad, but I would have had one of my other DPS take Brigitte and left my snipers alone if I was them, honestly.
Yeah.
I understand, but Prophet was one of the best Brigittes throughout the entire season.
But if your snipers are doing work, why mess with them?
That's true.
I agree with you. That's why I said one of the.
That's true, though. I mean, you do have a point. And you kind of noticed, like, throughout the whole grand finals that there was a lot of things that got flipped really quick due to hero switches. So, like, last-minute hero switches. So I feel like Prophet switching off the Brigitte, I would actually have to agree, was probably not a move that helped them, unfortunately.
Not at that point.
No.
Maybe a different game, but this one, no.
No.
So Philly was starting to hold them about midway through the third point. And Boombox, actually saved them, honestly, with 2 minutes left on the clock. It's 2 minutes and 45 seconds left on the clock. Boombox had to ult his Zen out of the spawn in order to get them anywhere close back to the cart, because I think it was Birdring who sent a Hanzo ult into their spawn.
Yep.
And if it wasn't for Boombox having that ult, they would have all died and went right back. And they could have made a lot more progress on the cart. With about 45 seconds left on the clock, they finally got it moving again. They made it 3 meters from the end, so they did make it really close. But Philly beat them out in overtime to kill that last push, and nobody got back to the cart in time.
Yep.
So Philly took it 3-1. 3-2.
Yep.
Sorry.
3-2. And Sato, to give him props, he also got a nice double kill onto both the supports. He, if I remember correctly, took out the Mercy with his leap, and then just shocked down the Zenyatta
Nice.
to take out both of them in one of those pushes.
I do have to say, just for bringing Overwatch League into like my own gameplay, that I'm starting to really learn the importance of ult usage, of like when to use your ult. So like I've been maining Lucio this season, so I won't just throw my ult out there. I will wait until I hear a player like a Genji ult or something like that, and then I'll be able to use it to save my team. So I'm picking up tips from watching this, because before I would just throw my ult out like, oh, I have it, Q.
Yep.
So
And then 30 seconds later, you hear "Justice reigns from above,"
and then everybody's dead because my ult's already
Riptide.
over.
Yep.
Yep.
Or the Riptide starting. I
Oh.
am so disappointed that I don't remember the Riptide starting. And apparently
So,
our
yeah.
boss destroyed her knee.
I destroyed my shit.
Stop kicking things.
I know. So yeah, I'm liking that I'm learning actually from watching this. So from a fan perspective, and then from like an actual player perspective, I'm actually taking stuff away from this. So I was happy.
I mean, I agree with you, though. I am learning. Diva so far is my main, and I've always enjoyed playing Diva, but I didn't know how to actually use her ult. I was like, oh, ult, I can go kill people with my self-destruct, and I would get lucky sometimes, but it wasn't.
I will
that's
say,
all it
me and
was.
C are the best Diva Lucio combo ever. Ever.
I'm sorry, we did carry a couple of matches, honestly.
We did. I just stuck with Thea and watched her little robot booty the whole time.
So,
Not even gonna make a joke about that one.
Or when she would play Orisa, because she's trying to learn how to play other tanks too.
Yeah. 'cause
But that's good to be flexible, because if you're a one trick, nowadays that's a death sentence.
Yeah.
I can't heal. Don't ask me to heal. I suck.
At least you're not as bad as Dami when she doesn't even know how to play Mercy. She goes, I don't even know how to res somebody. What does
I
her
know.
ult do? I was like, what game have you been playing since it came out that you don't know how Mercy works at all?
I was trying so hard not to laugh. I was like, what?
I was like, go res hot dog. And she goes, I don't know how. I said, run up to his dead face with the little circle and hit E. God.
And then as she ulted, she flew into the face of a Bastion, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was great.
Because she was jumping. She didn't realize that if you held the jump that she flies. So she like kind of fluttered into the Bastion and just died.
Map 2.
Yes, sorry.
Oasis.
Yes,
No
it
problem.
was. Philly and London did not sub anybody out. I wasn't really shocked to find that because it was only map 2. So point 1, both of the teams started running Farah out the gate. London gained control first with very little kills to start, but once the point actually unlocked, then they killed Philly.
Oh yeah.
And
A
it was
huge
just I was just going to say it was a full reset at that point. So
Yeah. But a huge part of London capping so easily was EQO. We know he knows Farah. We know that. And he was missing shots
he was.
more than like, I miss shots as Farah, and I'm willing to admit that. And I tried being a Farah main. EQO was missing more shots than me. Granted, caliber of player, huge difference for who we're playing against, but it's just like the amount of shots he was missing was surprising.
I think the adrenaline maybe got to him from winning that first match because it was so loud in that stadium. Like, you could hear it yourself. I can only imagine what they were hearing.
What they were feeling, because
Yeah.
like
Oh God,
just
I'd
the
have puked.
echoes of all that. The echoes of those people just yelling, Philly, Philly, you would feel that inside you.
It was nuts. I can
Yeah.
totally see how adrenaline got the best of him, and he was maybe shaken just a little itty bitty bit that he would miss those shots.
Yeah, and as I said, I'm not trying to insult him with saying he was missing a lot of shots. That's just something I noticed. Like, normally, he'll miss one or two, but he missed quite a few. Like, a surprising amount. Especially in the Farah v Farah duels, he was missing a lot. Which, that's where he shines. He's,
He does.
in my eyes, the best Farah in the league.
He's up there.
He's up there. I don't know about best. But London gained control all the way up to 99% before Philly even had a chance. They what I found actually quite, I don't know if amusing is the word, but when they flipped it, it wasn't overtime, and they had a full 6 alt team ready to go to flip the point, and they didn't use any of them. They left all 6 of them in their bank to use and flipped it over. So, but they got entirely too aggressive, and they allowed a back cap by London to take the point back to make it 100%, and London went up 1-0.
Yep. Wasn't that a Tracer also?
Yes.
Back cap it?
Yes. I don't, and actually, I think that was the other thing I forgot to make note of. I don't even think they used any of the 6 alts that they did have stored up. I think that was a major misplay on there.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think they did.
I mean, why hold them if you're not going to use them to keep the point?
Well, one, as you said, they were too aggressive. They left no one back at the point. Like, normally you'll leave a single support or something like that back at the point.
At least
so if your team
close.
so if your team starts to get overwhelmed up there, they can fall back to the point to get the heals. But they left no one. Like, that was a perfect, a Genji doing a proper Swift Strike. Tracer being Tracer. Heck, even a Widow with her grapple hook could have just flung up over and onto the point to cap it.
Alright. You okay over there, boss lady?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. Alright, so point 2 was next. Carpe started out on the Tracer, and London subbed out their Farah for Brigitte. So I believe that means that EQO is still playing Farah.
Yep.
Philly actually did get control first. London had actually charged the point about halfway up, because I don't know if we've done an explanation before, but you have to charge a control.
Before you can cap it.
Yeah, and London had actually charged it halfway up, and then they got annihilated, and Philly just swung it right back around.
Yeah.
Sorry, I lost my place.
No problem.
I don't think really much went on at that point. It was more just the normal, a Winston tickle here or there, a Farah shot here and there to heal up, because all of a sudden London flipped it with a team kill like that. Philly had only gained 41% by the time that London flipped it, and that was all she wrote. London held on to it for the rest of the way up to 100%.
London capping it was on the back of Bergering gang a nasty shot onto Carpe on that tracer. He literally blinked right into his shot, takes off his head, then nails Neptuno neck shot in the face also, and then they just steamrolled Philly to cap it.
Yeah,
It was
Sato.
nasty. It was amazing.
Yeah, Sato was actually out of position because the commentators were even talking about it, how Sato jumped way too early. He did the dive way too early, and Philly was just like, "Wait, where did our Winston go?" And they just forward and died. And at that point, I think the charge or the percentage was up to like 92 or 93 at that point, and nobody even touched to make it go into overtime. It just
I feel like Sato being out of position and dying too early is a note that we write way too often.
Yeah.
Honestly.
In EQO's defense, though, he noticed that with the fact that he missed that, so then he was like, well, I have barrage, let's try and do something. And he went for a super risky barrage.
I think he got one with it, didn't he?
Yeah, he was punished instantly, though. He got the one kill, and then he was dead. Just,
Dead.
He's alive, he's gone. Like, the kill feed, it was within a matter of milliseconds. If I forget who killed him, I feel awful about that. If they would have pulled the trigger just, seconds sooner with that mouse one, they would have kept the person he killed alive. Simple as that. That's how close it was.
Sometimes you gotta take a loss to
Yep.
win a game.
Yep.
Sacrifices have to be made sometimes.
Mm-hmm. So that put London up 2-0 in that map. So they went and made the match a 1-1. We had a little bit of a break, and lo and behold, when the break was over, we started Hybrid and Eichenwald, and Poco subbed in for Boombox, which I thought was a little odd because remember back at the beginning, Boombox is one of their supports. Poco is a tank.
Yep.
So they were running 3 of their tank players and 1 support player. London didn't sub anybody in. And I think I made a mention of it in our chat that, like, why would you do that? Like, I understand putting Poco in, but why would you take out Boombox?
I figured they would have taken out maybe Hoppa.
Yeah.
Unless Poco's trying to become a flex, but still, why?
Poco's
Like, you
not really
have
a flex
other
player
supports.
though.
Yeah, so unless they're trying to force him to become one, but still, why? It's the playoffs. Why force someone to swap what they're good at?
Yeah.
That'd be like making Pine go Mercy.
Oh god.
So once again, Philly attacks first, London defense first. Philly started out with 2 tanks, 1 support, 1 sniper, and a Pharah. You put 3 of your tank players in, and you don't do a 3-3 composition. Why?
Mm-hmm.
I literally have no answer for this.
And they got punished quick for it. Wasn't the first team fight over in like 2 seconds?
Yeah, pretty close. It took them 2 minutes to get anywhere near the point. I mean, once they got on the point to capture it, they did get it, but it took them 2 minutes to even get anywhere near it. So.
Mm-hmm. And EQO was the first one dead in that first team fight on that Pharah. Like,
They were really like I think they watched previous games and they realized, like, because before the grand finals, like, EQO was really, really on fire. Especially as that Hanzo player, he's known for his fire too, so I think they were really smart to focus on him as much as they did. Because they were able to keep they were able to keep Carpe kind of down. He had his moments. But I think that really switching and focusing on EQO is really what helped them make these big pushes. Because EQO was almost on the same level, I feel like, as play as Carpe was before going
that's
into
the
the
thing
finals.
Yeah, that's the thing. Whoa. He doesn't get the flashy kills, but he gets the in-your-face kills.
He gets the
When you need him, he gets them.
Yeah, which allows Carpe to then get the flashy kills or the long-range picks that we love to see. EQO is the workhorse of that. Carpe is just, I don't want to say cleanup crew.
I'd say
Sort of.
cleanup. Yeah. I find it funny that you made that point, though, that they were focusing on the DPS players, because in the semifinals, supports were the target for everybody. Everybody was gunning for those supports.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden they're like, screw sports. We're gonna go for a EQ over here. You guys have fun. So,
Well, in the semifinals, you have to remember you had people who, being a support, were super dangerous, like Jonak.
Yeah. But that's why I said it was every single team. It wasn't just focusing Jonak on New York. They were focusing everybody that was playing support. So, okay, so Sato actually started doing work on his tank. He finally got some self-destruct kills going, which Poco is known for, not Sato. I apologize. He took out 2 on the first point, but Jester was like, that's cool. I'm going to take out one of your supports and your DPS just because you took out one of mine. And that's basically how the whole first round went, was tit for tat. If one died, the other one died. There was nothing really overwhelming once the cart got moving. It was just like, we lost 3 players. Okay, we're going to back off and wait for everybody to respawn. That kind of thing.
There was a lot of Carpe doing what I just said I didn't want to say, but doing cleanup crew, because he did push it to that, overpass bridge. He pushed them. Pushing it to there was on the back of him getting a lot of picks left, right, and center.
But yeah.
Yep.
Where did Philly stop? That's where for some reason that note is missing. I said they were forced into OT, but where did they stop?
It says OT was forced halfway through the point.
But which point? That's my problem.
Oh, probably on the way to point 3, I'm assuming.
Point 2.
I think it was only point 2. I don't think they got to the castle.
Oh no,
Nope.
they didn't. You're right.
Obviously,
was
the
pushed
adrenaline
at
got
the
to me.
overtop bridge that I was talking about, because they were able to push it up to there on the back. Carpe getting those massive picks. Then after that, his team got picked off, so then they lost space, and then.
Yep. It says able to
And it
hold
was just
Philly. It's
constant.
only 1 point halfway through. So yeah, it was the point 2.
Yeah.
Obviously, the adrenaline got to me too, and I'm just like typing.
Yeah.
So we flipped over for London to attack. I didn't make notes of what they took out of spawn, so I'm assuming it was just your standard 2-2-2 for both teams. Philly was able to hold them through 2 pushes, but after that, it was kind of all London. London had 30 seconds to go on the clock, and they just broke through with a massive team kill, giving them 2 minutes and 15 seconds to make it to the end.
Which is not a lot of time.
It's not, but when you're considering the fact that it's only halfway to the second point, I think it's a decent amount of time.
Oh
yeah. If they had to make it all the way to the end, I probably
true.
would. But they were only had to make it half. So.
Mm-hmm.
And then you and I were talking about this in our chat as well. It was so dirty. On the very final push, their Tracer, which I believe Birdring was playing Tracer at that point, went and sat at the top of Philly's spawn and waited for everybody to trickle out. And then when Carpe was the only one left, he jumped down and annihilated him.
Yeah, I remember that.
That is a dirty, dirty play.
So dirty.
There was also a lot of ults getting held on too long during this map in particular. Like in the first half, I meant to mention this earlier, but EQO held on to an ult way too long, and Jester was expecting it. And this is when EQO was playing Pharah. So he hears Justice rains from above, jumps up, shield drops down, and EQO kills himself with his own ult.
That's brilliant.
It is. It's brilliant. Why would you not? You don't even have to
Mhm.
use an ult to take care of him. You're just like, oh, you're dead.
It's
Yeah.
brilliant.
He had to use 2 abilities, which in all honesty, the jump, whoop-de-doo, he then flies up and gets high ground advantage. That's very good for Winston to have, because then he can jump down onto someone and get more damage with that. And then the shield, sweet. You now have a shield somewhere on the map to stop damage. Win-win.
Touche.
So that was the end of that. That put London up 2-1, making them again, to go up 2-1 in the match. And we go on to Assault, which was Wildskaya Industries. I personally like seeing Assault. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe because there's no payload to move, you're just playing on the point.
I don't like Volskaya. I don't like
Oh,
Volskaya or
Volskaya.
Oasis, I think, are my 2 least favorite maps.
Volskaya is one of my favorites.
Yeah,
I just
Sammy.
love it. The flanking abilities, the weird angles you can take, and all that. I have so much
I
fun on
agree
that
with
map.
the.
Honestly.
I don't like not having a payload.
So no subs again. So they left their 3 tanks in again. But this time, they did do a 3 tank, 3 support, but they did scout first. I believe they sent Sombra out first to see what London was running, and then they changed to a 3 tank, 3 support. So at least their tanks were running their mains, or at least their secondaries. So, and then London started out on the defense with 3 tanks as well, but 1 support and 2 snipers. I found that interesting. One support for 3 meaty tanks. Okay.
It worked.
I know.
They held the first team fight. Like, they held the first 2 team fights, actually. Because with that triple support, triple tank, Philly just didn't have enough damage to push through those choke points.
True. I didn't think about it that way. Yeah, because I have a note here that London was able to survive a flank, and they gained 4 ults during that fight, and just held on to them. They didn't use them, at least not at that moment.
Like, that triple tank, triple support is very good for defending. Attacking, not so much in my eyes. Because for attacking, you need that damage output to start to snowball it.
True.
Because defending, you know where they're coming from. So if you don't have a lot of damage, oh well, you can just have a wall of bodies to block them.
So what allowed Philly to finally get through was they used 3 of their ults. Poco self-destructed to basically take out the entire team after, I believe it was a support ult came out to keep him alive. And then I think Winston also ulted, and he was trying to knock people off the point. I could be mistaken. I did not make a note of exactly what it was, but it gave them 4 minutes and 55 seconds to get onto point B, and they almost steamrolled point B. I found that impressive. They got 2 ticks on point B before London recovered at all.
Yeah, and that was just on like Carpe and EQO being on the point as the 2 snipers. If I remember correctly, it was a Widowmaker and a Hanzo on the point, just picking people off as they entered through, the couple doors. As soon as you're defending, you know where they're going to come from. You can be aiming headshot level preemptively to go pink, pink, pink.
And see, that's the difference between pro player and regular player, because if I was a sniper sitting on the point by myself and saw people running at me, I'm gonna run the other way. You can have the point.
I'm dead.
Just gonna go jump off a bridge.
I'll die on the point. Simple as that.
Well, yeah. They didn't die on the point. It actually took Fury's self-destruct Eva to get them off of their point finally.
Yeah. With that, I do believe he did take out one of the snipers.
Possibly. Not in my notes. But then Prophet switched to May, which yes. I don't think I've ever seen him play May.
And that needs to change.
He did so awesome with it. He was walling people off with the ice, and he was just splitting the team right in half. And oh look, half of them dead. And May held the point for him.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be May. I had to do it.
Someone had to. I'm glad it was you, not me.
This
But-
is true.
That May pick, like, she did work for them. She
Yeah.
really did. Like,
Go ahead.
it was amazing. People are finally seeing that she is a valid pick.
May is the
Yeah,
devil.
she's a very niche pick, but she can be a valid pick. Like, that is what helped them save that. Because if it wasn't for that May pick, I do think Philly would have taken that point and capped it.
And they were able to hold it with May running too, because he threw out his ult and took out 3 players completely by himself with the ult, and then took out Carpe by sniping him with an icicle. So he killed 4 people all by himself with little freeze May. And that's what allowed him to hold.
But that's the thing everyone forgets. May's heart beats even slower than Widowmaker's, so Widow couldn't just see the heat from her, because it's just ice.
Agree. I like May. I really do. I used to play a lot of
Yeah,
May,
you
so
did. That's true.
I am impressed to see that actually in a professional comp
Yeah.
and used.
And used well at that,
Mhm.
because we have seen some people take out May and not be very successful.
But Prophet was the one playing May, right?
Yes.
Yes.
He did eventually swap off of her and swap to Genji.
I think after he used her ult, he switched off her.
Yeah.
I think is what happened, which is fine. I mean, she did what she needed to do, so
And then he just started comboing the Swift Strikes together. That was beautiful. I think he got like 4 kills in a row that were just shift, shift, shift.
beautiful, wonderful stuff.
Oh yeah, it was
Dirty.
gorgeous.
Dirty.
He did them dirty.
And at that point, London just held. All they got was those 2 ticks. They never completely capped point B.
They-
Really was.
They didn't actually even get 2 full ticks. They only had 57% Philly.
Really?
London held them at 57%.
My bad. I have here that they have 2 complete ticks, so I apologize.
I might have misclicked and hit 5 when I meant 6, but it was either 57 or 67.
So, yeah, because I don't even think they got anywhere near the point to capture it at that point either. So that's all London. I mean, that's all London had to do was get just that little past the second tick. Or no, they have to take the complete tick to win it, don't they? I don't remember what the
No,
rules
they
were.
just have to match what the other team did. Because if you match, that means you'll be able to surpass.
Gotcha. So that's all they had to do. And
Prophet just had to play May.
I
That was it.
mean, okay, so we flip sides and London starts their attack and Philly starts their defense. London ran the 2-2-2 standard support. What I found, they ran their Mercy, standard Mercy, but they ran Ana instead of Zenyatta. Not that I have anything against Ana.
I do. Her sleep lasts way too long. Way too long.
It does. You do. You just sit there. You're like, I
could have had a KD bar in the time that it took me to wake up. So irritating. But I do
I
find
could have gone and showered
interesting.
twice in that time period.
There you go. I do find interesting though, and all of these notes that I'm reading with Philly's defense, the one common thing that I'm seeing is one support.
Mhm.
One support, one support, one support. Philly, if it's broken, fix it.
fix it.
We have talked about that on this show before. Carpe, I know you watched the show. That's how you got to the finals because you got mad at me. Talk to your team. Stop running one support. Stop.
Make them listen.
I will give them one thing though. Every time they ran single support, they did have Roadhog as one of the tanks, so he could at least heal himself.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see, Soldier, so he
Yeah,
could have dropped
'cause-
the healing
Yeah, because
for one of the DPSs. He can do a huge chunk of rolls, so why not use him?
Yeah.
That's true.
So, for the first couple minutes of the match, it looked like Philly was going to completely hold them. They weren't even going to let London touch the point. London didn't even touch the point till a minute left on the clock. They actually had to reset at 30 seconds and go back in again in order to capture it. They did finally capture it in time.
That was on the back of a massive self-destruct.
I believe, yeah, it said Fury ults to take out their supports, which allowed them to push in, I believe is what happened.
He launched it over top of the little house in front of Point A, right back to where the supports were, and it just took them out. Also did half damage to pretty much everyone else around. That was a massive self-destruct to get them back. If it wasn't for that self-destruct, they wouldn't have capped it. Simple as that.
Yeah.
By the way, I have a question, Thee. Who is McGree?
Shut up.
Who is?
I know what I meant.
Who is McGree? I don't think
This
I've
is
heard
the
of
last
that
time
hero.
I'm sharing notes with you. I knew what I meant.
I literally just noticed it like 5 minutes ago too.
That's Grandpa McCree, so instead of having his pistol, he has a cane.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Forget both of you.
Look,
okay?
we just came up with a new hero. You're welcome, Blizzard.
Or a new skin for McCree. Literally have
There
him
you
with a
go.
slower speed. And then the cane is also a pistol.
Just age the Scrooge skin a little bit more.
Exactly. Problem solved. You
There you
got
go.
this.
I just had to ask.
Yeah.
Look
So
at them sharing notes while I have to have my own.
if I had shared my notes with you, then you'd be making fun of me too. So, I had to pick my demon here.
True.
She picked it.
Um,
Brag is the devil.
I am May.
so, like she pointed out, Prophet then switched over to McCree, and he took out the team by himself. He needed no help at all.
Did McCree get a buff? He got
I
a
think
range
so.
buff, didn't he?
I think so.
That wasn't in this patch.
Yeah,
Was
it
it
wasn't in
not?
this
We're
patch.
playing on. No, this is what we're playing on now. He has the range buff. So starting season 2,
Most
he's gonna have
likely,
this massive
Okay.
range buff. They're also gonna have
unless
No,
they
it'll be-
nerf it again. Yeah.
but I don't see them doing it. This finally balanced him to a good point. To where he's not too weak against Pharah Mercy combos. Because that was one of his main weaknesses.
Thea is saying you're wrong.
We got annihilated by some McCrees, man. Granted, we're not professional players, but if we can get annihilated by a McCree, I'm sure professional players are going to get annihilated by McCree.
But the other thing is you're also going to have the professional players playing on him, knowing how to counter him and all that. So 6 of one, half a dozen of another. Pro level is where I find everything to be the most balanced, and honestly I believe that's where they should balance the game for. In my eyes, they should have 2 different patches of Overwatch. One for pros, and then one for us.
The
Yeah,
one
and
for
you know
us,
how
can I
much
get
work
the
that would
5-man res back?
5 men? What?
The 5-man res for Mercy. If they're gonna do 2 separate patches, give me my whole team res back, please.
That
Her
sounds fun.
res,
Oh god,
Reds
Thea
never
didn't
used to
start
be
playing
an easy
Overwatch
ability.
yet.
yeah, she was after the Valkyrie update.
I'm gonna have to send you some YouTube videos. It's beautiful.
I was saying, all I remember is a 2-person res. What the hell did I
Oh no,
miss?
there's been some 5-man reses. Oh, it's a thing
Her
of beauty.
Her ult never used to be Valkyrie. It used to be her E ability, but you were able to res the entire team, and it was pretty much, fly in, ha ha ha, everyone's alive.
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome.
It was dirty.
But it was fun.
Yes. Well, as long as you're on that team.
Right.
If you're on the opposite team,
Probably
that's
pissed
how
off.
things get broken. Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I think that's how I started breaking the monitor that just died on me.
Look what you did, Mercy.
Are you kidding? Throwing a cell phone or a fist at the monitor.
Sounds about right.
But back to what we were talking about. Basically, after Prophet took down the whole team, they won. That's it. Game over. Day done.
Mhm.
See you later. Bye-bye. London took the first day, 3-1. I mean, I'm not saying that Philly didn't fight, but I don't think
I
Philly
had
would
such
fought.
high hopes after the first map, too.
I know! Like, they
I was
looked like they were
yes,
totally
got
on point.
this. My
Then London
stupid
was like-
random picks are going strong.
And then Lum was like, watch this.
And then Prophet was like, let me just switch to May and fuck everything up.
So that was day one. It was a phenomenal day. Like, I was so
Yeah.
pumped. I was so hyped. Retro, I feel just a little bit bad that you didn't get to watch it live because oh my
Moving.
gosh,
Man.
it was so much
Speaking of
fun.
which, as everyone can see, yes, I'm fully moved into my new place.
Yay!
Well,
Yes, internet.
I still have a little bit of stuff back at my old place, but my landlord there was my brother, so he's fine with it staying there indefinitely till I pick it up.
Yay! So yeah, no, it was definitely a different experience watching it live versus watching the replay. The replay was still great, but watching it
Mhm.
live was just electric is the only word that I can really think of. It's pretty epic.
It was disappointing for me because while I was moving, they were obviously talking in our Discord group chat, so I knew what happened. So then I'm watching it and it's just like, oh my god, Philly has a chance to make it to map. Oh right, no, never mind. And then it's
That's how
just
I felt
seeing
watching the
this,
replay of
and
day two.
It was heartbreaking a little bit because it's like I knew what was happening. Same with day two. I knew it was a 3-0. I'm gonna spoil that now. We all know what it
Yeah,
was.
I was watching day
By this
two,
point in
and
time.
the moments that Philly were like kind of spiking, I would get excited, and then I'd be like, "But wait, they lose." So
Yeah.
that's what
And that hurt. That
Yeah.
hurt a little bit.
it hurt a lot.
It hurt my soul.
Yeah, my
I
soul
really
was
did
dead.
not like the move because of that. But
Soul was dead.
All right.
yeah, the
So
adult from
day
time to time.
2 was Saturday. I did not get to watch day 1 live, but day 2 I did. Still amazing, still adorable to say the least, to see the players try and think of something to do walking out on the stage. Especially
again,
Prophet. Can Prophet use some of the money for like a buffet? Like, I'm generally concerned about how skinny this guy is. And I even made a comment to Thea about it. I was like, he's really tiny. Like, he could host
I
a
think my
science
glasses-
class.
I think my glasses frames might be thicker than Prophet.
Oh my
Probably.
gosh.
Probably. So the first map for day 1 was Junkertown.
Wait, do you have lineups?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
actually have a quick stat before we get into that to show how the teams played. So the standout stat that I have for this would be for the 2 DPS for both teams. Prophet had 74 kills and 16 deaths. I'm not talking about, 74 eliminations. I'm talking about he got the final blows. Carpe had 29 final blows on
it
day
was a
1
huge
to
difference.
40 deaths. And then EQO and I forget the other DPS
Bird
for
Ray?
London. Thank you. I'm a horrible person.
Sorry,
they were
Bird
pretty
Ray.
much Sorry, Birdring. I have a horrible memory, and I didn't write your two stats down because yours and EQO's were pretty much the exact same. It was like ±1 on the deaths and ±1 on the kills. Like they were neck and neck. So its Carpe really fell off or was really getting countered. And Prophet was just like, hey, I'm amazing. Watch me do amazing things.
Yeah, they did a
Look
really
at me
good
do
job.
work.
Yeah, they did a good job of keeping Carpe down. I know towards the end of day 2, Gesture was really swatting the crap out of him and not letting him get line of sights on anything. Like, he was focused in on Carpe, and so props to Gesture for doing that, because
They needed to.
they needed to. So, Philly started off on attack. We had our normal lineup, so we had Carpe, EQO, Sato. We had... Oh, wait.
Okay.
I wrote too many. I did write too many. We had Poco, Boombox, and Neptuno. And then we had Nuz, how do you...
Bedosian.
Thank you. Bedosian, Burgering, Gesture, Prophet, and Fury. Philly started off with the typical pirate ship setup. If those who don't know what pirate ship is, it's when you have a shield, whether it's Reinhardt or Orisa, and then you have a bastion behind it on top of the point. Brilliant. Always, most of the time works. Boombox was playing the bastion. London took out Sato very quickly, like right off the bat. So they were able to push. However, Prophet did do a counter with a Dragon Strike and managed to take Bastion out about halfway to point 1. However, he did get res, and that allowed him to make the final push to point A. Because he got taken out and then he got res right away, and then that was it.
That's how they capped it, was on the back, massive res.
Yep.
If it wasn't for that, they might have pulled a Dallas and not even capped point 1.
I'm never gonna hear the end of this. Dallas,
No.
can you please
Whenever
redeem me? God.
Or can the people Frank keeps paying to come shut
I
me up
don't make enough
actually
money
succeed?
to pay anybody to do anything. So after the first point, Fury did throw his ult and managed to take out Boombox and Neptuno, which stopped the payload for a little bit.
Yep.
There was a brilliant move that happened. We were talking earlier about the Orisa Roadhog combo. Thea knows what I'm talking about. This play was gorgeous, by the way.
Awesome.
So, Gesture set Fury up, did the gravity ball, and then was it a D.Va ult that killed him? There was an ult. It was an ult. So Gesture set up the gravity ball, and then right at that time, we were talking about the communication. Right as that gravity ball hit, there was an ult that had come out with Fury for the D.Va ult, and dead.
Yep.
Just dead. I believe
Beautiful.
Sato's the one that died from that. But, I mean, Philly still did manage to push it. Even with that, they still had 4 minutes left by the time they got to point B, which is a lot of time for this game.
Mm-hmm.
Birdring was annihilating Carpe on the Widow fights. Carpe was almost non-existent that whole push. There was one comment that the commentators were talking about Neptuno specifically. So Neptuno gets off some crazy reses. Like, he is the most ballsy Mercy, I think, in the league. Like, there was a lot of reses he was going in danger, and he was getting them off, is the thing. Because before, when Mercy used to res, she used to be protected when she was resing, and now that's not the case. Mm-hmm. So the fact that he's able to be so ballsy and go in and get those reses and actually get them off is impressive.
I'm surprised his Mercy can even fly around in Valkyrie with the balls of steel that he has weighing her down.
Yeah. And the commentators were
honest.
talking about, like, how does he get these reses off? Because some of them are crazy. And the next is the play of the whole grand finals. Everybody spawns, goes into the tunnel because the door is closed, goes into the tunnel after point B, and Prophet just said, yeah, you guys did good stuff, hold my beer, and threw a dragon strike through that tunnel, and Prophet
was
took
no
out
more
the whole
Philly.
damn team in the tunnel with Dragon Holy God. That's literally what I wrote.
Yeah.
And he got a Diva D-Mac.
Yeah.
This wasn't just on Profit though. There was good team communication because
Yeah.
they also had Roadhog do a hook to pull someone into a wall to keep them there, and then they also had the Orisa do her halt ability to get them all there. The only way that could have gone any better is if instead of Roadhog, they had Zarya to throw a Graviton in there to just be like, yeah, you're stuck. Here's 2 dragons. Just get up and walk away.
But I mean, that's fairly common when there is a Zarya run. A Graviton strike with a Dragon strike is extremely common. So to do it
Yeah.
without a Zarya was impressive.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that was a really just crazy ult because you hear, I mean, the arena was loud anyway, but as soon as that happened, like, I felt like my ears were gonna bleed. Like, everybody flipped out. It was that was the best play of, I think, the entire season. Honestly.
My jaw was on my desk. I was like, oh.
I
And
take
it-
my headphones off.
And you could
Like
see the
my
panic.
ears were hurting.
You could see the panic on the players when they heard that Dragon Strike came out, but they're in the alleyway, and it's that panic of, I have nowhere to go. I'm gonna die.
They were in a lose-lose scenario because if they would have flooded out that top hole right there, the entire rest of the team was staring at them. So it's like, dragons
They
or
were dead
bullets.
either way.
Dragons or bullets. Dragons or bullets.
Oh, we're dead. Just kidding.
And
Oh, hey,
interestingly
Diva's alive.
enough,
Oh, never mind.
interestingly enough, after he did that, he actually switched to Bernite. After that. Which I found interesting, because if you managed to pull that off with your Dragon Strike, why would you switch? But whatever, I'm not the coach. So this is when there was a lot of hero switching after this. Prophet had moved to the Brigitte. Carpe switched to Tracer. Sado switched off the Orisa to the Winston. Boombox went to Zenyatta. EQO switched to Genji. And Bedosian switched to the Zenyatta.
Jeez, ow.
Yeah, so there was that Dragon Strike really woke everybody up. Like, holy crap, we gotta switch heroes now.
And I think that is why he swapped. Because he knew, okay, sweet, they know I just got a huge Dragon Strike. They're now going to swap to counter this. Oh, hi. I'm no longer using bow and arrow from long range. I'm using a mace from in your face.
Yep. So I mean, it was a crazy whole day 2, but that was nuts. I mean, you can't beat that Dragon Strike. So that set the whole tone.
Clip for forever.
Yeah. Prophet will be able to make millions off of that one clip for like the rest of his life. Now, I stupidly didn't write it down, but I can't remember. Did Philly take? Philly did not take all 3 points on that, I believe. They did not.
No.
That's why I didn't write point 3 down, because I didn't take it.
They, Philly
I
is
believe-
forced into overtime, leaving the cart at the underground cut a long way away from the end of the point.
Yeah, so they
Yeah.
barely just made it to the beginning.
So then we switch. Oh, go ahead.
At the end of that first half, Kerpe was really asleep. Like, he died 4 times. Okay, 4 deaths. You're doing good. He only had 3 final blows.
Yeah. He
was asleep.
London really did a great job at adjusting to shut Carpe and EQO down. And like he said earlier, in the semifinals, it was all about sport, kill the sport. They kept EQO and Carpe down, And with Sato repeatedly getting out of position, he just kept his own self down at that point. And by keeping Carpe and EQO so far down, they didn't need to worry about the supports because with the DPS dead, the support didn't have anybody to heal anyway. So it didn't make a difference. So I give props to them for keeping those two people down because they recognized that if Philly was going to win, it was going to be because of Carpe and EQO.
Yep.
So then we switch to London being on attack. I wrote normal comp, so 2-2-2.
They did not run Bastion though. They did not run Pirate
they did
Ship.
not. London took point A like this. They still had 4:47 left on the clock by the time they took point A. So Philly just was like, here you go. I wrote Poco's ult took out Gesture, Luz, and Badosian, and that ended up with a team kill by the end of all of that.
Yeah, he had a massive 4K there.
Yeah,
I thought it was a 4K anyways. It might have only been a 3.
Yeah, Poco takes out 3 with the D.Va self-destruct. Team picks up the rest of them, delaying them right at the door.
Yep. And then right before London had taken point B, Prophet actually did a Dragon Strike, took 2 people out, and then right after that, stormed Arrow and took a third out. Right before that they capped point B, and they still had 4 minutes and 23 seconds on the clock after point B. So they had forever.
To just take it like, what, 6 inches?
Yeah. Yep. I wrote,
it wasn't very far at all, no.
No, it wasn't. Pushed Philly off, London takes map 1. That's literally what I wrote. They just shoved them.
They're like,
Like, ah, you're cute, but just move. Just let me do this.
It was on massive focus fire. So they were all aiming at the same person to just melt those people down. They had amazing team communication for that. To be like, take out Mercy. Take out the other support. Take out tank. And the DPS will fall within 2 seconds.
I have to say, Prophet was doing a really good job on that Hanzo. And there was EQO got taken out by him an awful lot. Like that Hanzo battle. I was noticing that Prophet was taking EQO out quite a bit with that Hanzo. So Prophet did a really good job on that Hanzo play on that map. So
Prophet was even taking out, if I remember correctly, he was even taking out Carpe.
yes, he was.
oh yeah.
And that's when Carpe was the Widowmaker. He was out sniping a Widow. So, he was doing work.
Yep, he was. So map 2 was Control on Lajig. Retro and I were actually talking about this map earlier.
No subs.
No substitution. Nope. Prophet and EQO both played a Pharah on this map. London ended up charging first. Again, another common note. The next one I wrote: Sato keeps getting away from the team and dying. They have to fix this because I've written this note I don't know how many times. They have to fix Sato getting away from the team. I don't know if he's like you mentioned in day 1 where Sato had jumped too early and it forced them to push sooner than they wanted. I don't know if that's what's happening or if they were just doing a good job at keeping Sato away from the team. But Sato dying right away from the team is something that has been consistent, I feel like, throughout the season, throughout the whole playoffs. It's happening too much, and they either have to get a fix for that, or they need to put somebody else in that tank position, because Sato getting away and dying too quickly really was costing them this whole playoffs. So.
In all honesty, my only note for map 2 is, and Sato was killed out of position, period, times by 1,000.
Yep.
Like,
well, and I give Carpe credit, because Carpe actually was playing the Tracer on this map, he
Mm-hmm.
tried to back cap them. So they were all having this fight, and he tried to back cap and sneak back
Yep.
there. And it worked for a little bit, but as soon as they were like, oh, hey, somebody's back capping, they just took him out, and that was it. Like, it was a
Yeah.
small. I feel like it was Carpe being desperate. I feel like that's what that back cap was, because there's no way that he thought that was going to work. But I feel like that was desperation on his part to try and do something to get that percentage to stop.
That
I
was
mean-
desperation on the team's part to try and do something.
I mean, in the moment, it seemed a little brilliant to me that he would get off Widowmaker and go to a Tracer. But, I mean, when you seen that he started immediately to go to cap, I think that's when the desperation
I
was
think
more self-evident.
that's what we're talking about, the pressure. I feel like he really felt pressure, that he knew he wasn't really doing anything on the Widow, and he needed to try and do something to help his team. So, I mean, that made me feel like actually really crappy for him, because I saw that as a desperation move that wasn't successful in the least bit. I think he maybe charged it almost half-ish before they managed to get back to the point, but it was as done as quickly as it started. So London took the first control point easily. It's extremely one-sided. So I have to start off the second one. London, I think after that first point, London knew they had it, because they came out really aggressive for the second point, and they just shoved Philly out of the way like they were cotton balls, and immediately took the first percentage. Profit and EQO then both switched to Tracers at that point, I think.
I thought
Maybe
Philly
I'm wrong.
ran their Farah till the end.
Yeah.
Somebody
Philly
switched to a
kept fire at the
Tracer.
end.
Don't know who. But at that point, the elimination number was London had 16 eliminations to Philly's 2. At that point.
Yeah.
16 to 2.
And I almost
Says a
think
lot.
those 2 eliminations on Philly's side, like the 2 kills they got, were almost pity kills. Like, I want my all.
Yep.
I want my abilities to reset here. Just kill me. It'll
Yep.
go a little quicker.
And at that point, Philly showed a little bit of life. They actually did manage to flip the point at 99%. So
Yeah.
they were trying, and this is when
Yep.
Carpe did shine, because he got some really good shots on Profit and Nuss at that point. He was in the back and he was aimed right at that control point. He got some really good shots, so they had a minute. It was kind of funny because at that point, Profit was on the Widow, I think, or no, he was playing Tracer. He was playing Tracer because I wrote Profit sticks Carpe, so Profit
Yep.
stuck his pulse bomb to Carpe and was just done after that. He's like, all right, you got your 2 kills, bye. So,
Thank you, come again.
yep. So they managed to get to 38% before London finally retook the point. Pokey tried to stall with Diva, I believe. He tried to go in and stall, but the rest of his team couldn't get back with him fast enough, so they pretty much just melted him the second he got on the point. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
and this is when the commentators were talking about Gesture was really focused on Carpe this round. Because of those line of sights, Gesture was in Carpe's face the whole map. He did not allow Carpe to get set up, and we saw what happened when Carpe was finally able to get set up. He got those 2 picks, but Gesture made sure he stayed in Carpe's face that whole map. Like, that was Gesture's only role, was to just annoy Carpe, and it worked, because they said they managed to get between 2 points, they got a whole 38%.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a public comp match, is almost what it was like watching, honestly. So It always disappoints me when Philly keeps giving me these like hints of hope,
Yep.
and they just let me down.
Philly, I feel like, let a lot of people down, not on their performance, but on their consistency,
And I don't,
especially in the playoffs.
and I don't know what the issue was. I don't know because we don't have listen-ins or anything that often, so I don't know if their communication was off or if they just weren't all going together as a group. Like, I'm not really sure what happened to Philly. I don't know because they both were the underdog teams. They were both riding that high wave going into this. So I'm not really sure what happened after the first map that they won. I don't understand.
Hey, I didn't even think about it at this point. That's all Philly took was the very first map. They lost 6 maps in a row.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't, like I said, I don't understand what happened after that.
I mean, it looked like they were going to make a comeback on the third map.
Yeah, like I said, they tried, but it just wasn't
Yep.
enough.
I think that was probably their best map. Honestly, of the 6 that they lost, I think the last one they fought the hardest. Personally,
That last map was actually really, really entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
Speaking
Oh, yeah.
of the last map, it was King's Row. Lovely map.
Prophet did something that warmed my heart a little bit.
What, he played Junkrat?
Oh yeah, he started with Junkrat off
So
the get-go.
happy.
Oh yeah, he had his ult within 30 seconds. It was amazing.
I don't know which I hate more, hearing Justice Reigns from above or hearing that goddamn tire. I don't know which I hate more.
tire.
Which one? Yeah,
Probably
the tire. It's so unpredictable. Like, I love Junkrat. Simple as that. But even I'm willing to admit, his ult, it produces the most amount of salt out of everything in this game.
Yeah,
Like, when you hear that, when you hear it start up, it's just, if you're on the other team and you hear that start up,
It's that instant panic of, oh
amazing.
my god, where's the tire coming from?
it is. Like, as a diva, I can eat a Pharah ult, but as a Riptire, I'm like, I don't know what to do, guys. You're going to have to kill it. Like, sorry.
with Riptire, you need a good shot. There's multiple people who can take out one shot. But
I
you
believe
need
Carpe
those characters.
did shoot a Junkrat ult one time, that tire, which is impressive because as crazy as you could move that tire, if you could Widowmaker that thing, you were God in my eyes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I think because you made Diva, even if you have your defense matrix up, even when that Junkrat ult goes off, does it still deback you?
Most of the time, yes.
That's a lot of
Yeah.
damage.
It is.
That I know one time I want to say I ate one as a Reinhardt, and the shield starts off as 2,000, and I had 1,900, and it took 1,000 off my shield down to 900, and I was like, it's gone. It's just gone now.
Yeah. That's the thing about him. That's his job, is to destroy the shields.
Which is
'Cause he'll
surprising
do that,
that
and
he's
then
not
he'll-
played more, as high of a damage dealer as he is.
I think he was played in the regular season quite a bit.
It's because of his spam. The fact that he can be behind cover and you can't even see him and he'll just be lobbing nades. People find it cheap, so the pros, even though it's a valid strat, the pros don't play it because they know. Like Jake, every time he played a lot of Junkrat, had people messaging him and adding him and everything. It was just like, Jake-Rat, Jake-Rat, Jake-Rat. Learn to play a character with skills, stuff like that.
It is fun to watch Jake play the Junkrat. I actually was
Oh,
going
yeah.
to mention that. So he did play the Junkrat wonderfully, by the way, as that makes Retro incredibly happy.
Oh yeah.
Roadhog was getting a lot of good hooks and was taking out tanks quite a bit. Philly ended ended up taking the payload. When they charged it, they had 4 ults up at that point. So they were ready to have a good push. By that time, they had 4 ults just sitting there collecting dust. Unfortunately, the next note I have written yet again is Sado dropping so fast. Again. Sado is being secluded away from the team and dropping like crazy. They got to figure that out. I'm so tired of writing Sado is dying too fast.
I mean, I am impressed though. They did finish the point.
They did.
They did it in overtime, but they did it.
They did. I didn't think they were gonna make it either.
Mm-mm.
So that was nail biting, and of course, in overtime, once you cap that point B, you only get an extra minute and 30 seconds, which is not a lot of time to cap a point C on King's Row.
Not at all.
No.
Especially with the distance, and if you have a proper Widow, or a proper Junkrat, or a proper Pharah, or Hanzo, or really any DPS that knows how to play their role properly, as soon as they turn that corner, you can destroy them.
Yeah.
No matter who you're playing.
Speaking of your Junkrat play, Junkrat's ult took out Sado 4 times. It was literally just made for Sado.
I have a gift for you.
Oh god.
It's almost like he was being like, I want to hug the tire. It looks fun. Oh, right, it kills me.
Yeah, like, right away. Which
Like an Acme cartoon from way back in the day. I have a gift for you.
Boom!
Yep.
That's like
It
Coyote
even
and the
has a
Roadrunner.
bow on it.
So they did get it. So they only got the 130. Fury's ult ended up taking out EQO and Boombox, so that was very, very helpful. They had 30 seconds left, and Philly had 3 ults left up. London only had 2, but they were a tank and a support ult they had. Fury tried to send his ult out. Unfortunately, he sent it too high, and it landed on top of the ledge right before you go down, and he didn't get anybody. So he really misfired that one. Because I looked at it, I saw it go up, and I was like, why? There's someone there.
Yeah, I think that was like, I don't think, excuse me for saying this, but I think it was more like London playing sloppy allowed Philly to finish the map, not Philly being good. Because one of the notes that I have is when they forced it into overtime, London used 3 of their ults, but they didn't get any kills for it at all.
Yeah, they didn't capitalize on them, which is strange because London is one of the best ult usage teams, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, as we said, Prophet started with the Junkrat, but at the end, he did switch to a Sombra to try and contest the point. However, it was just not successful.
Yeah.
So he shouldn't have even switched. But he tried.
Especially since it was in overtime anyway. It's not like he was draining time off the clock. So
that Sombra swap, if you would have stayed alive a little bit longer, though, the speed to get her there is a lot quicker than Junkrat, so I understand it. But at the same point in time, I agree with you guys. I would have rather seen Soldier 76. And yes, I'll keep saying this. They need to play Soldier more. He is a very valid and very good hero. But how many times did we see him throughout the playoffs?
Hardly at all. I don't even think I did see him.
I don't think we've seen him once.
No.
If I'm wrong on that, I'm sorry, but I do not believe I saw a single Soldier pick.
Well, we definitely didn't see him in the grand finals at all.
Maybe like
they had selected quite a few times in the hero select screen before the match started, but they never actually played a single second on Soldier.
They didn't like do a panic switch of him to get out of the spawn quicker, like at the end of a point or anything.
Nope.
Not that I remember. No.
Nope.
I don't remember either, honestly.
So Philly on defense, they actually did really well. So this is the point where I started to get excited, thinking that Philly was going to make a comeback. So Bergering had actually moved to Azaria. They had a gesture on the Winston. They had a Reinhardt. Luz switched to Lucio. Bedosian switched to a Moira, and Prophet had switched to the Brigitte. So those were all the switches that had happened between attack and defense. Change. Not quite sure what happened. They pushed Philly off pretty quick and capped the payload pretty fast. At that point, Pokio had to switch to a Zarya to, counteract the fact that Bergering is playing Zarya, and Boombox had switched to a Moira to counteract Bedosian. And then this moment is where I got excited, because Carpe took out. I love Thea's face whenever I get excited, because I know she knows. Carpe took out the Doomfist. I hate Doomfist, by the way, but whenever a player pulls him out, I get excited.
Whenever a player who knows how to play him pulls him out, that is amazing. And Carpe on Doomfist.
He's good.
It was amazing.
He took out Prophet, Bergering, and us, right off the bat. And I was like, yes!
It wasn't no hydration. It was...
No, it's not hydration, but it was still beautiful. And then
it was.
Sato came to life for a little bit and actually took out Gesture, who was on the Reinhardt. So he had a little moment. But then Bergering said, hey, let me throw out my Gravitron and just wipe you guys out to move the payload.
Yep.
Which is what happened. Bergering at that point... So again, with Prophet doing the Dragon Strike on that Junkertown map, he immediately switches to a different hero. It happens again because Bergering had the wonderful Gravitron, and then he immediately, after that, switches to a Pharah. Just confuses me that if you're doing such a good move on that hero, why do you then switch to something else? I don't know.
Because you're going to assume the other team has swapped to heroes to counter you, so then you swap to a hero to counter those heroes.
But it kind of went backwards, because Bergering switched to a Pharah, but nobody on Philly had switched. But as soon as they saw that Bergering switched to Pharah, EQO then switched to a Pharah after that. But London completely shut Philly down, and our happy hope was gone. So
yep.
But EQO did switch to the Pharah, and as soon as he switched to the Pharah, Bergering said, haha, joke's on you, I'm gonna now switch to the Widowmaker. So it was like a mind game of hero switching. Almost. But no matter...
It was fun to watch.
It was hilarious, because Bergering switched to the Pharah, so EQO switches, and then right after that, Bergering's like, nah. Widow.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
It was chess.
They were
playing chess with the hero selections. It was amazing.
I was starting to get dizzy because they were starting to switch heroes so much that I was like, I can't keep up on my typing of the notes.
Yep.
But no matter what Philly did, London just kept killing him anyway.
Yeah.
And then Carpe put the Doomfist away and actually switched to the Brigitte. London did finish with 1 minute and 10 seconds in the bank. Philly didn't finish with any time, so London immediately got to start off
attack.
And they only needed the one tick. London immediately pushes in. They get a kill on one tank, and that was all they needed to get that one tick. They get the tick. It's over.
Yep.
Game over. Yeah.
Because once they got... Go ahead, B.
Oh. Okay. So London did a 3-3. which was, I mean, you kind of expected it because that's all they need is the one tick. All they needed was the meat shields just to get through. Philly surprisingly did one support, and I don't even think they picked Mercy, so she couldn't even res somebody once they died. And it was just so phenomenally stupid.
Yeah, Philly just like coughed and they got the tick. That was it.
That's it.
Yeah.
It was so fast.
What were you saying now, Retro? I'm sorry.
That first pick on the tank, as soon as they got that first pick, if I remember correctly, they then followed it up by not a team kill, but they did then stagger the deaths to the point where they were then able to stand on that point. And yes, Philly was coming onto the point, but they still capped it because you had them staggering in to the point of eventually you waterfall them.
Yeah, that
I
one
thought they
tick
took
was-
it faster than that, honestly. I didn't think there was enough time for respawns, but I mean, I could be wrong.
There wasn't. For me, when I was watching it, replaying it, I felt like I blinked for a second and they got the tick. Like, there was a small moment where they were pushing, but like Roger said, the second that they got that pick on the one tank, that was it. They were done. And the rest of the team couldn't hold it.
The staggering I saw then might have just been, they had fallen back and then were like, oh, right, no, we need to hold this. Let's now go into stall.
Yep. They had to stay on the point. Even if they knew they were going to die, they had to try and stay on it because they just needed that one tick.
Yep.
I don't know if you had mentioned it, but peak viewership went up on the final day as well. We went up to 319,000 people.
Yeah, no, that was crazy. I was like updating Fee every time I saw the number go up. I was like, it's 300, it's 303, it's 306. Like, I was freaking out. I think I was just as excited about the viewership as the actual game itself.
Yeah.
It just felt good. As Retro watches Comp CSGO, I used to watch Comp Call of Duty, and I have phased out of the Call of Duty world lately. And it just felt good to feel excited about esports again.
Like, with CSGO is still one of the bigger esports out there. It does still get massive viewership. But when you're looking at, like, I'll consider Overwatch League, yes, it's sponsored by Blizzard, but I'll still consider it like a new tournament on the circuit for CSGO. You get nowhere near this amount of viewership for CSGO for new tournaments on the circuit. So it was very nice to see, as Frag was saying, like, it warmed my heart. It made me happy that there's all these people being like, yeah, let's watch this. Yes, a huge chunk of it is people who were never into competitive esports, who this is the first esport they're watching, but at the same point in time, who cares? They're watching. That's what I love.
Oh, they filled a huge stadium. Like, I mean, not to downplay the Blizzard Stadium out in LA, but the stadium that they were in New York, like, what, 3 times the size?
Yeah.
And it was
Barclays
filled to
Center's
capacity.
huge. Yeah, like, yes, they did have a huge amount of seats taken out for, the stage and all that, and then the announcer's stage, but still, that's only, at max, let's say, a quarter of the seats out of the entire stadium that weren't in there. Like, yeah, they sold it out for what they had for capacity. That is impressive. Plus, they also had all us viewing on Twitch. Plus, they also had all viewing on Disney. Plus, they had ESPN2. Plus, they had NBC. Like, it was massive. I wouldn't be surprised if they come out and say, over 1 million people watched between all of those.
Yeah.
There is ways to, pad those numbers. There could have easily been people who had a Twitch and then their TV on also, but still.
I will say,
Yeah.
did anybody notice the chick with the dreads from the Valiant game that was on the screen was there at the grand finals, like rooting for Philly? She was like, "It's not
No.
over yet. It's not over yet." And I was like, "That's the same chick from the Valiant game," because she was wearing her Valiant jersey and everything. And I was like, I think they're making sure that she's like in every match now. Yeah, the chick with the dreads was there, and I was like, I recognize you.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yep.
Just like there was a couple funny signs I noticed throughout the entire thing, and that's one of my favorite things about the Overwatch League is the signs that they let people bring in, that they can make their own signs. One of my favorite was "Let's go Philly." Then they move their thumbs, and you just see it fall down back to spawn.
Ah,
That's
I'm
awesome.
so sorry I missed that, but that's brilliant.
That's
I
awesome.
believe that was day one of the signs. And
Those
the
signs
dude's
are funny.
Yeah, the dude's wearing a Philly jersey and everything, and he's surrounded by a bunch of players, and then he just drops that, and you realize, oh, you're a smartass. I
Yeah.
love it.
Those signs were funny, and I know we've mentioned this in previous shows, but like when they start chanting and you hear it, like when you hear shields up or when you hear wings out, like you get goosebumps.
Oh yeah.
Like Thea and I were talking about it. We were like, if we actually ever went to an event, we would be so overwhelmed with excitement, we would probably just be crying.
I would totally be crying.
Oh no, I'd be right there with you.
It's so
It's so awesome! I can't believe. Oh my god, we would be messes.
Can I touch you?
Yeah. We
I
would be
really
hot
want to
messes.
go. I really want to go to an event, but at the same point in time, I don't, because I still want my first esports event to be a CS:GO event, just because
I would love to
that's where my heart lies.
like we were talking before the show. World Cup tickets are crazy cheap. 2 tickets are only like $46. It would
Yep.
cost me like 4 times that just to go to LA and stay there for the event.
Yep.
But I would do it, goddammit. If I could get Thea Retro down here, I would spend the money to go do it for the experience. And I would spend hella money on the shop there too. I don't even care.
If I had my passport and the time off, I would.
I would
Ironically
still do
enough,
it.
when it is in LA, not for the finals, but for just the LA stage of it when they're in North America, I am actually off that weekend. But as I said, me no have passport, so I can't
Damn
leave
it.
Canada.
So I don't know. I don't know if you guys remember your MVP playoff pick, but I remember mine. I called Birdring. I thought for sure they were going to give it to him. And I'm not saying that he didn't. The person who got it didn't deserve it, but I thought for sure they were going to give it to Birdring because he was on fire. He was popping off all the time. And then they're like, we're going to give it to the other DPS. Here you go, Prophet.
Okay, but Prophet played May. See,
I know. I
Prophet
know. But I just wanted to
played
be
May.
right once. I just wanted to be right once.
I know, but at the same
Prophet
time, it makes
played-
more sense.
played- Junkrat.
And he got that dragon thing that killed everybody. And he played May. If you play
And
May,
Junkrat.
MVP. That's it.
The only way to secure it more is if you play May and Symmetra.
I do have to say that I agree with the Prophet pick, mainly because, 1, he was getting those crazy ults, and 2, he was doing it with different heroes. He was swapping these heroes out and getting these insane plays with almost every hero that he switched to. So I agree Birdring was amazing, but I feel like Prophet's flexibility and being able to execute so well on the different heroes is why he got that. So I feel like it was justified. But none of us were right, I don't think.
No, I
I'm
don't
pretty
think
sure
any of
I
us
picked
Prophet.
Carpe, so I didn't even pick the right team.
I don't remember who I picked, in all honesty.
We were just wrong.
Exactly.
You were wrong. So,
It looked like
And
our
if I was
brackets.
right, who cares?
I'm,
But after watching the playoffs, I think they mischose. In my eyes, Fury should have won it. Some of the massive ults he had as a tank and all that, that helped cap team fights. Was his play for a lot of it.
Can we just give MVP to the whole team? Can we just
I'm
say
pretty sure
everybody?
we did that. They got a trophy and everything. So
Yeah.
Yep.
But like I understand the Fury argument though too. I'm still gonna stick with I feel like Profit was more justified, but Fury definitely put up a good fight for that MVP. Like some of his ults were crazy, so I agree with that. But that was season 1. It's all wrapped up. I am actually very sad. I
Same.
know we do have contenders to watch, which is fun to watch, but it's not the main Overwatch League, so it's kind of like when football season was over, it's like, what do I do now with my life until season 2 starts?
play lots and lots of over.
Yes, which we have been doing. We are working hard to get the Golden Diva guns.
They have been playing lots. I've been accepting.
We have been playing lots. I was ready to go to bed last night. Next thing I know, Hot Dog messages me and says, "Hey, Fee, Annika, and I are gonna hop on Overwatch. You should come." And I was like, "Okay."
Or last night, I'm playing while I'm waiting for Random to get home from work. He messages me, "Let's play." Okay.
Yep.
Play one match. Okay, I gotta go. Random's home. Bye.
Yep. I mean, we already got our root boxes for the week for random heroes, so now it's just on that comp grind. And my comp rating sank like 200 points in one day, but it's fine.
Comps was.
But that just meant you went from 200 to 0.
Felt like it. That was where my confidence level went from 200 to 0.
Don't worry, Frag. I'll start playing with you again to raise your comp level.
Bite me.
Hey, Frag has a lower comp level than you, if I remember correctly.
I don't know. Hot Dogs was bad though. He started off at like 567.
I can't play with Hot Dog.
I know
Mine's
you can't.
Too high.
Poor Hot Dog. Hot Dog, we love you.
I love you, but
Yeah.
I want to get to gold, and I'm just on the cusp, so I'm gonna get into gold. I need to get another account so I can play with you.
I guess multiple accounts. Too much effort.
So what are we gonna be talking about since our baby is over? The season is over.
Well, we do. We're going to have some shows coming up where we break down each team. We're gonna start from overall leaderboard standings. So we're gonna start from the bottom and go up. So we're going to be starting off with Shanghai, but we are going to be doing. Saw that. She just wants to talk about Gregory, which I do too. I do too. So, we are going to be doing that. So we will be doing shows that we will break down every single team. And then we will also have a show as more rumors come out about season 2. One that we did talk about is 2 more teams are coming into the league. If you can pronounce the second one, I'll give you a cookie.
What kind of
Give me
cookie?
a second to open up this thing again.
Well, Atlanta's the first
want
one,
a
and don't
cookie.
ask me to pronounce the second one.
Give me a second. I want a cookie.
He wants
I
a
want a
cookie.
cookie.
Alright.
Gangzhou.
Where is that located?
China.
Is that China?
China?
Okay.
I would say China.
So we do have those 2 teams, but that's pretty much all we know. But we do have All-Stars coming up. August 25th and 26th is going to be All-Star Weekend. And then we do have World Cup as well. Which World Cup is actually how I started watching professional Overwatch. Granted, we didn't have professional Overwatch before that, but I started off with the World Cup, and that made me excited for Season 1, so... But if anybody can beat Korea, like... Good luck. Because they...
We will give you lots of cookies
Yeah,
if you beat
USA almost did it. I think we had the closest chance, if I remember last World Cup correctly. But they just slaughtered everybody. Like, it wasn't even close after that. So hopefully we can put up a bigger fight. Other countries besides the U.S. can also pick up a bigger fight. Here's hoping. So we will
Honestly,
have. Go ahead.
honestly, I think just from the way some of the pros played in the Overwatch League, I think Team Canada might have a little bit of a shot. And no, that's not me being like, go Canada, but just how on fire Surefour was throughout a lot of it.
Oh my god,
I think
Thieves
that will
awake.
help.
You said Surefour.
Yeah, I said one of the purple players, so she went from playing with her hair to paying attention.
Just got excited. So we do have all of the team breakdown coming up, as long as coverage from All Stars and World Cup. We will also be doing some shows in between then, just trying to get you guys as much info at Season 2 and anything that's going on in the league that we possibly can. We're going to have to really dig into our detective skills and abuse Google a lot. Try to get this info for you guys. So
Google's gonna hate us.
yeah, they are. So I mean, it's gonna be an interesting off season. I believe we may have a show about the contenders down the line. But I believe it will just be, instead of all 58 teams, it will be the teams that have pro teams currently playing, and I believe he said it was 6.
Yes.
6.
Something like that.
So
6, maybe 8.
So we will at some point cover that during the off season as well, and then as season 2 does draw closer, whatever date that may happen to be, we will give our predictions, what we think are going to happen for season 2. But I am very excited, especially with the addition of 2 more teams. And who knows, maybe there might be more.
Hopefully there is more. Because, no offense, but I would like to see them move the playoffs into, in my eyes anyways, kind of like how they do for the Stanley Cup in the NHL. I think that would be nice, how the divisions actually mean something as opposed to who gets the bye.
Right.
Because having that bye honestly hurts you. As we saw,
Yeah.
that first round bye hurts you so much, especially with this where they went to different patch.
Yep.
That hurt them so much. So if, come on Overwatch, add more teams so that you can actually do, you know, even if it's just semifinals and then finals for the divisions and then straight into that. So it's just 3 weeks again. Still,
Yeah.
who cares? You need something like that.
Well, we did talk about wanting more teams just so there was more competition within the league. We didn't want to see the same teams always on top. We really wanted to see things kind of start to move and switch around a little bit with the standings. So,
yeah. And I don't want to insult any team now, but I want to see different teams
no
on the
offense,
ball.
New York, but God, let other teams win.
Yeah. And no offense, Shanghai, but pick it up. Someone else needs to be down there.
Oh my God, I can't wait for Shanghai to get their first win. The whole world right now is rooting for these guys.
Make it happen.
Make it happen.
Watch Shanghai win stage 1 of season 2 now.
Hey, I will buy a Shanghai
Whatever.
t-shirt once they get their first win.
Let's do that.
I will do it.
If they win stage 1 of season 2, I'll buy a jersey.
Ew.
That's a hundo.
That's commitment.
That's a $100 bill there.
Yeah, those jerseys are pricey. That's for sure. Christmas,
Especially with the conversion rate to
That's true.
Canadian. That's a $100 bill right there.
That's true. So, but that does wrap it up for this episode. We will keep you updated on when we will have our breakdown episode. We might have kind of a recap, maybe, sort of thing in between then. If we don't, our next show will be 2 weeks from now if we don't do that, so we can gather more of our resources up and bring you guys the most possible information that we can. But we will make sure that we keep you guys updated for that. To see the updates, make sure you do follow all our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. join our Discord. All those links will be in the description at the bottom. So make sure you do like and subscribe. Leave us your comments on what you guys thought of the finals. If you agreed with the MVP. If you think we're all just completely batshit crazy, that's also something too.
That's also probably true.
Wait until they see the bloopers video. Just from today.
Oh, just from today, like
Just from today.
there's something we can't show on camera.
There's multiple things that we can't show.
Most
We're
of
a
which
little
stem,
nuts.
Yeah,
most of which stem from me. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
this is true. Just wait till you
When
see.
in doubt, blame retro.
Yeah, this should be printed on a T-shirt.
If I ever get my own merchandise, that's gonna be the first shirt. When in doubt, blame retro.
I agree with that. So we will see you guys either in a week or 2 weeks. We will keep you updated on which we decide to do. But we will start our team breakdown. We will start with Shanghai, work our way up. New York will be the last one. Because there's, like an 83 game differential. Crazy. But I do look forward to doing that because I'm still, even after season 1, I'm still learning players' names and things about these guys. So this will
Yep.
be more information for me as well as for you guys who do watch. So I'm looking forward to that. But we do hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching. We do greatly appreciate it. And all of the support on here and on Twitch. So thank you again for that. And we will see you guys very, very soon. Goodbye. Goodbye. That is so loud.